the opportunity to speak to you. I know he spoke a lot, and he hears me speak all the time, so he knows what our issues are. But what I'm really speaking to kind of bring this home is having a voice in Queensboro Hall, right? I'm sorry, let me go this way so you
yeah.
Happy.
Yeah.
That's fine, yeah, because I don't want to talk to
okay. You can see.
It's about making sure that you have fair representation, that you have an active voice in the Queensboro President's Office. Currently, what we have is a lack of interaction with all the different communities that we have here. And we've traveled all over Queens. And every time we talk to families, they say, some people don't even know what the Queensboro President does. But they have a lot of power. They have power about the land use. They have interaction in how the schools are built. They also have interaction on the development that's going on here in Queens. We have luxury buildings being built in the middle of our communities, but they're not being built for us. They're being for people outside who are coming in. You're talking about a strain on our resources. We already have a lot of shortages in Queens. And then they build buildings and bring 100 families in. There's no infrastructure built in. There's no support given. These are the things that have to be changed. So the Queensboro President's Office, what we offer is full disclosure, making sure that we have diversity in the office, contracts, land use, all the committees that we sit on, making sure that everybody's getting the same access to information. It's important. We had a big article about the community boards and the diversity of the community boards. And then when we turn around and we ask people, they say that they were never even asked or told about the positions. So in the Queensboro President's Office, we're going to make sure all the positions that are available are made public, so everybody has a chance to participate. When we talk about these contracts that they give out in the city right now, well, again, the contracts are given outside of the borough. We have millionaires being made right here just based on development, but they're not bringing it back to the community. They're not giving the contracts to the developers right here that live in Queens. You can make sure that when there's development, they're also giving jobs. And when they just want, what kind of jobs? We want to know specific jobs at every level, because they have workers, they have managers, and they have supervisors. We can ask for all those positions, but currently they don't even ask the questions. And when the contract's over, we're lucky if we get any jobs in our community that are represented. So we're going to change that business. Small business owners that I sit with often talk about how they're being priced out. So they're here in Queens when things are bad and tough, and you build a business. Then all of a sudden the landlord wakes up and they double your rent overnight. There's no control of that. So the same tax incentives that they were offering Amazon, we're going to ask for them to offer the same tax incentives to the small business owners. When your rents become too high, you want to have a tax break also. Why aren't they offering you the same opportunity? So we're talking about that. We're also talking about, again, they chased Amazon out of Queens, but they didn't have another plan. There's a lot of space over there to have small businesses grow. We could open up offices over there, and we could create a space for people to grow, but they didn't do it. We have to have solutions in that respect. So the Queensboro President's Office needs to be your voice. It needs to be the voice of every person that we speak to. Now, we're also running representatives of every district here. There's 2,764 seats available in Queens. County committee people. That's 2 representatives every 4 blocks. A male and female representative of every part of Queens. That means exactly where you live at. If you want to have people from your community run for those seats, we want you to run. A male and female leader, literally every 4 blocks. They have a vote, they have a decision, and they have representation when you're speaking at Queensboro Hall. And all the elected officials will come to you. All of them will be responsive to you. Right now, they make their own decisions and they're separate. The Queensboro President's Office is going to open a space to have all the elected officials in one place. Open up an office space for them. Because if you have a complaint right now, you have to visit the city councilman in one place, assemblyman somewhere else, a state senator somewhere else, you got to travel 4 times to make the same complaint. So in the Queensboro President's Office, we're going to create space. You make one complaint here, and we track the response to making sure that you're getting the service that you're supposed to. Nobody else is doing that. So we have to change the conversations. People always say, well, who's endorsing you? We weren't looking for too many endorsements. We're looking for is people. 10% of our community vote. People aren't engaged. And politicians don't. They're like a small group. They can control it, and they make the decisions. We don't want that. I want 90%, 100% participation. And then this way the people make the decisions, and we have to follow what the people want. That's not what's going on right now. We have a 10%. We have 1,200,000 registered voters in Queens. 1,200,000. 76,000 people are making decisions about whatever happens in everybody else's life.
Not even 1 lakh.
Right? Between the ages of 18 and 35, voting is less than 1%. That's our youth. And if we're not empowering the future as to how to become leaders, then somebody else will. So we have to change the dynamics. We have to change the conversation. How do we get our younger generation and empower them? They're the future leaders. We open the doors, but now they're supposed to be taking us further. We're supposed to be creating a space for them to grow much further than we could ever achieve. But they're being left out of the conversation. They don't have belief. They don't have belief anymore. And believe it or not, most of the people just, they don't believe in any of the elected officials. They don't even say, why does it matter? The last election was lost by 60 votes. That means one building, 4 blocks of homes. 60 people would have made a difference in that election. We should never be that close. So this is a people's mandate that we're running. It's a people's campaign that we're running. If all of us come to the table, they're not counting on you voting. When I started saying I'm going to the churches and the synagogues and the mosque and I'm going to religious communities, they started laughing. They're illegal and they don't vote. That's what they were saying about me. You're going to people that don't matter. Wrong conversation. Those are the people that matter the most. You have more votes than anybody else. Your community alone can elect any official if you're organized. You have enough votes already. You have enough votes already to make a difference. Now the question is waking up the consciousness and saying, we need you to come together. I'm asking to be your representative. I'm asking to be your vote, your voice in the Queensborough President. I think we make a massive change by allowing everybody to come to the table. It's going to scare some people. It will. It's going to scare some people. They don't want to see all of us talking. They don't want to see all of us communicating. But that's also something else I talked when I was reaching around. We're not supposed to lose our culture when we come here. We're supposed to be able to share our culture when we come here. But the message that they're trying to give is that you must assimilate. You must give up everything that you believe in and all your beliefs and give it up to what they want. It says no. The idea here is that you're supposed to come here to be free to be able to do the things that you need to do. Keep your culture, keep your beliefs, and share it with the rest of the world. And we're supposed to take the best from every community. Everybody has something to offer. We should be talking to each other and sharing that information. But most people don't want that level of communication. That's our struggle. That's our fight. So when you look forward to what we're doing, you're going to see a diverse group of people. Sometimes people that don't even talk to each other. They talk through this campaign, they're talking to each other like never before. So the power comes in the numbers. So I'm looking for your support. As always, I think that we're going to make a difference. It's not just, again, I'm not just, as I am here today, as I said, Jacob, I go to places that politicians have never been to at all. They've never even seen the elected officials. They see them on the news, maybe in the headlines. But we're talking about building relationships. Not relationships just for this campaign, but long-term relationships where we're going to be working together. Because the changes that I'm asking for and the changes that we want to do require all of us to be together. If I'm there by myself, they're going to beat me up and throw me down some alley somewhere, right? But if I'm there with a mandate of people and diverse communities, they can never close those doors again. We won't go back to politics as usual. Whoever wins this election has the potential for being in that seat for the next 10 years. All the people I'm running against are all elected officials. They all have titles. They all been in public office for 8 years, 10 years, 12 years. One guy said I'm in public office for 17 years already. But they've been there all that time, and they had the solutions to help all of us. Why didn't they do it? So when people tell me they're supporting somebody else, I say, what did they do for you? If they helped your family personally, I understand you support them. That's loyalty. I respect that. But if they haven't helped you personally and haven't changed anything for your community, then we need to hold them accountable. Giving them 10 more years in another position and hoping that they're going to change something, they're never going to change. Their history already speaks for themselves, right? If they had the solutions to help us, if they had the ability to make changes, they would have done that already. It makes no sense to give them 10 more years. Again, I'm a father, married, live in Queens. The reason I decided to run, because I got sick and tired, like most families are, of politicians making promises and never keeping them. They come to our communities only when it's time to take pictures and when it's election time. And then they disappear again. I've been doing this work for over 30 years, close to 40 years now, working in the community, doing civil rights work, defending people's rights, and it wasn't about the pictures, it was about the need. People who needed help, and we created an organization to do that help, to provide that help. And we started as law enforcement officers. And we grew from one NYPD to we represent all city, state, and federal law enforcement officers. We go across the United States. We help business owners, we help families, we talk about police corruption, police misconduct. We hold people accountable. So that's the level of response that we want to do with Queensborough President. I want to bring the same level of respect and honesty and openness to the Queensborough President's Office. So again, I thank you Jacob, for inviting me, and thank you for opening your home to me. and allowing me to be able to speak to everyone. And if you have any questions, I'm always like questions so I can answer things that you need to know about. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
আপনারা যদি কেউ তাকে কোনো কোশ্চেন করতে চান ফিল ফ্রি আপনারা এখানে সামনে যারা আছেন কেউ যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন করতে চান করতে পারেন Okay, well, nobody has any question. I have only one question.
Yes, sir.
Listen, as of today, Queen's Borough President's Office has no Bangladeshi employee.
No.
No Bangladeshi employee, not even one. Everybody is wondering, the day you will become, you're going to take oath. After that, how many Bangladeshi people will be there?
So, this is a very good question. And so, you know,
Call back courtesy.
It is against the law to say that you need to offer certain positions, but I will tell you the following. This is my promise, and what I say is the following. I will ensure that we have the diversity that we need, representatives from everybody's community there. And we're going to have, not just because, but people who are qualified. When they used to tell us, when we used to apply for jobs, they used to say, we're not qualified. And they used to give us barriers as Latinos, right?
Yeah.
And then we always have to achieve something else.
Yep.
Every position has specific requirements. We're going to open up that application process to make sure that everybody gets the information. And when we finally make decisions, I guarantee you the way that office looks now, tomorrow
It'll be different.
It'll be much different because it's going to look like you and I. And we're going to have people that are being empowered right now. So I guarantee you, so again, you never can say, I need to have so many of these and so many of that. What you can say is that I would make sure, I would absolutely make sure that your voice is being heard and that we're going to have representatives in our office.
Thank you. Okay. Okay.
আপনি আসলে এখানে ওনার রিপ্রেজেন্টেটিভ আমাদের কমিউনিটির একজন সচেতন লোক হিসাবে আমার প্রশ্ন যে আমরা যারা এখানে আসছি আমরা এই এলাকায় বসবাস করি তো ওনার জন্য কাজ করার জন্য আপনি কোথায় থাকেন কোন এলাকায় আপনার বসবাস আমরা কিছুই জানি না আমরা রফিক ভাইয়ের মাধ্যমে এখানে আসছি এবং আমরা আপনাকে ওনাকে হেল্প করা মানে আপনার মাধ্যমেই ওনার কাছে আমরা কি করতে পারি এটা ভবিষ্যৎ আপনি এটা পরিকল্পনা
This gentleman, he is asking what way they can